Good evening, everyone. This is Dr. B from Steps to the Future, coming to you with another chapter of College and Career Conversations with Dr. B. Now, for those of you that have been following along for the past couple of months, you know that my series is focusing on representation matters. One of the things I want to make sure that I do in my part in this world that we live in today is to make sure that I bring to the forefront the stories of Black and Brown career professionals, because it's so important that students see people that look like them in all types of career fields. The reason I'm doing this is I remember, as a young child, I really didn't know too many other career professionals. I was telling our guest that earlier this evening that I didn't have my first teacher of color until I was in seventh grade. But I also knew by the time I was in sixth grade that I wanted to be a teacher. So having Miss Smith, I remember her name, Miss Judith Smith, as a teacher was wonderful for me because it just validated what I wanted to do as a career. So for those of you that are joining in with us this evening, we thank you so much for being here. Those of you that are watching this on the replay, please make sure you join in the conversation. You can still put in your comments and let us know what you think, or if you have any questions that you'd like to ask of the guests. What we're going to do here is I'm going to take a quick break, and when I come back, I will introduce our guest for this evening. Okay, everyone, and thank you so much for coming back, because of course it's important that we have you back here. I'm bringing on screen our guest this evening, Edna Irizarry. Edna, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Thank you. So, folks, let me just give you a little background on Edna for those of you that don't know Edna. Edna is a licensed realtor in the state of North Carolina. She specializes in working with first-time home buyers, yay, residential resale, and investment properties. Her reputation is built on exceptional experiences, service excellence, and proven results. She has lived and worked in the Fayetteville area for over 20 years. Outside of real estate, Edna enjoys volunteering with local charitable children's organizations, home design and staging, and spending time with the grandbabies. She is a graduate of Monmouth University in New Jersey with a BS in finance. So again,
Yes.
Thank you so much, Edna, for joining us.
Thank
And
you.
so tell us, so I always like to find out some information about folks in their college experience. So tell me, so you're a Jersey girl, but you're here in North Carolina. So tell me about being a
Jersey
Jersey.
girl. Jersey girl. So I stayed close to home. I went to Monmouth University, which was about 15 minutes from where I live, but I did stay on campus to get that college experience.
Okay.
It's a small private university, but I did, make a lot of friends there. I was actually there when we started our first Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority incorporated
Oh,
on
yeah.
that campus.
Okay.
So that was like really exciting to bring that sorority to Monmouth University. So it was just a great experience overall, but still allowed me to be close to home, but not at home. I did major in finance. I've always liked dealing with money. So I took the finance route. And after graduation, I worked for the government, 29 years doing finance.
Okay. So tell me, so in doing finance, what types of other things did you have the opportunity to do when you were in school? Did you have an opportunity to do internships? Were you doing any hands-on experience, any type of research?
Absolutely. So at Monmouth University, they had an educational program for minorities where they matched you up with jobs. So that's where I got my job at for the government. So I started out there as an intern. And then once I graduated like on a Sunday. That Monday, I had a full-time job. They brought me on board full-time. So it really worked hand in hand. So I worked there throughout college for the first 4 years, part-time, when school was not in session during the summer times. And then when I graduated, like I said, I applied for an internship program with the government and was selected because I had been there 4 years already.
Okay.
So that was
That's
that transition from the university into the work life. So it kind of worked hand in hand with those university programs.
Right. And it's so important, students that are out there listening to this, that you make sure you take advantage of any internships that come your way, because as it did for Edna, a lot of times
Mhm.
those turn into jobs. And when people are looking for experience, having those internships prepares you already for the workforce. I see that we have some people that have joined us. Please make sure you join in the conversation. So if you'd like to shout out to Edna, or if you'd like to ask her a question or make a comment, please make sure you let us know, because we always love to have people join in the conversation with us.
Absolutely.
So, Edna, you worked for the government for all those years. How did you make it to North Carolina?
Hey, most people here, military.
Military.
At New Jersey, at Fort Monmouth, this cute soldier came to my office, and he just like swept me off my feet. So everybody knows my husband, Chef Lou or Lou. And he was actually stationed where he's from. He's from New Jersey also. He's from Long Branch, New Jersey. We actually live like a couple towns over. Our schools are rivals in sports, but we had never ever crossed paths until the military. So we met there, and yeah, the story goes on. We got married, and his next assignment was Fort Bragg. So I ended up here at Fort Bragg.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
how I got here. And then we just stayed.
Just stayed. And shout out to Chef Lou. Shout out to Chef Lou. Because
He's trying to log on now. I'm not sure if he logged on or not.
Okay, because if you live in the Cumberland County area, you definitely know Chef Lou, and anywhere within a couple of 100 miles, you should know Chef Lou. So when you moved here to Fayetteville, tell me about did you continue in the finance field, or did you look at something else? So tell me what you did here.
So luckily, for military spouses, they do have a military spouse program within the government. Because we have to move every couple years, the military wants to make sure that the spouses have an opportunity to still work. So of course, I applied to the military spousal program here, and they actually find you a job based on your skills. So they actually found me a job. Of course, my background was strong in finance. So again, I found another finance job here at Fort Bragg, and I continued that until I left after 29 years.
Okay. All right. That's a long time giving service to the government. So again, thank you for your service, because it definitely, all of us benefited from it in one way or another.
Exactly.
So when you left that after 29 years, what did you do?
So, how sometimes you're at work and it's just the same thing day in and day out. I did it for 29 years. So I called up Lou one day. We were doing Elite Catering at that time. And I was like, hey, I really had enough of this. Can I come and work for you? And I gave my resume. Look, I got a strong, background in finance.
Yes.
I can run a business, so we had a restaurant at that time. And then we were starting up with catering. So I emailed Chef Lou my resume, and guess what? He hired me. He's like, hey, go ahead, resign and come work for us. Let's just build this empire together. And I was like, are you serious? I can actually quit this job? He was like, let's just do it. So, I stepped out on faith. I joined Elite Catering with Chef Lou, and it's been up ever since then. Yes. So that was a great move and transition from a military career to my civilian life with Lou over here, doing something totally different, which was actually running a whole business, a restaurant, employees, catering. So it was a whole lot, but I got it done.
Okay. So tell me about those early years when you joined the restaurant. I know you had your place on Trade Street.
Yes.
So tell us, so what was all of that like for you, the day-to-day, and where did your finance background come in?
So definitely came in when it comes to food costs. So, running a restaurant or anything in the food industry, food costs is critical to your profit. So I was able to work with Lou, because Lou knew how to measure stuff, and I knew how to do the mathematical part of it. So together we figured out how much a plate of food was going to cost us. And then I determined how much we need to charge for that plate of food in order to make an amount of profit that we wanted to make for us and to cover our overhead and our expenses and our employees. So all of my experience came really in handy, trying to run that, trying to do the taxes, just paying employees, and definitely the food costs. So it really kind of worked out. And rather him hiring a CPA, he had me.
He had
So
you.
it really worked out fine. It kept our numbers low and our profits high. And that's the goal in any business, is to
Right.
make money, and having me there and him, we just worked really great as a team. And so my background came right on time.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic. That's fantastic. So then, so you had the brick and mortar restaurant, and then you also have your catering portion of it, in addition to that food truck. Because I know anytime that food truck was in Festival Park, I was trying to get over there and get those empanadas.
And that food truck is back now and again.
I know. I'm so thrilled that I missed
Yes.
it. I missed it fourth Friday, and I'm so mad at myself that I didn't get down there. But I'm going to get to the next
Right.
location.
We'll keep you
So
posted.
okay, I will, because I'm following you guys on Facebook. So tell me about how did you transition? When did you decide to transition from doing the Elite Catering, the restaurant, the food truck into realty?
So we've always owned investment properties
Okay.
in New Jersey. And then we came here after we retired, we bought some more investment properties. And actually, our daughter was studying to become a realtor.
Okay.
And I was her quiz partner. So I was answering, asking the questions and going through the stuff with her. And I'm like, I pretty much know all this stuff now myself, sitting here studying with you. So I kind of did that. And then we were also during that time frame selling a home. And I've
Mm,
met many agents, but I met this one agent in the Shonda Island of Elite Realty Group. So I hired her to list one of our rental properties that we wanted to kind of move off of our books already. And the
mhm.
experience with her was like so amazing. Like she was just a people person. We actually had fun selling the house. Even though I was paying her, she made like so much fun. So I kind of like, okay, I know this part over here with the books. I like what Nashonda did in this process. And I watched her and I was like, hey, between Nashonda and my daughter, I think I'm gonna go ahead and sign up for the course and get my license. And that's exactly what I did. I signed up for the course. I got my license. And Nashonda was like, you did what? And I was like, yeah, I went and got my license. I said, can I interview with you? She was like, girl, yeah, let's interview together. And so I interviewed with her in December of 2019.
Okay.
So of course, Nashonda hired me.
Mhm. Of
But I was
course.
still doing catering. So I didn't really do anything at that point except hang my license there. But that's kind of how I transitioned initially. And I was still doing we were still heavy in catering. So I
Right.
didn't know how I was going to balance it all out. But then in
Mm,
March of 2020, the pandemic hit.
yes.
And I was like, catering came to a complete stop. We literally had nothing. We could not do anything.
Mhm.
And I was like, wow, that's like a big part of
Yeah.
our income is catering. But I was like, hey, I got my license with Elite Realty Group. Um, so yeah, I went to work. So I was like, you know what? Real estate was deemed essential. I was like, oh, they need us out here. So let
Mhm.
me put my boots on the ground and get to work. So when Nashonda teaching me how to navigate it at a fast pace, because I had to jump in
Mhm.
and make things happen quickly. Nashonda, what do I do to start getting clients? And she told me what to do. I did it. And it's been very, very successful, I say.
Okay.
So it was
Oh,
a very good transition at the right time.
okay. So for people who are thinking about going into becoming a real estate agent, tell us a little bit about what were some of the things that you had to study when you were studying for your license.
So it's a lot of laws and regulation. That's the book part of it that you have to know. But the biggest thing in real estate is people will buy into you before they buy what you're selling or what you're offering. And people have to, like I said, buy into you. So even all the book knowledge, you have to be a person that someone would trust with their biggest investment of their lifetime,
Yes.
you know? Um, and so I found like, okay, well, that was kind of like, my niche. People kind of
Right.
already knew me.
Mm-hmm.
They knew what I do for lead catering. They saw how I moved, how I operate, how I treat people. So it kind of made it easier for me, I think. But the
Yes.
one thing that's the biggest key in real estate is being a good listener.
Okay.
because we have to know what our buyers or sellers are telling us they want, not what we want, not what we like. So you have to be an amazing, learn how to listen and not talk.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? So that is like really key, because if you can't listen to your client, they're going to fire you.
yes.
If you put your 2 cents in and what you think what you think they want, they're going to fire you. And you do get fired as a real estate agent. Now, thank God I have not been fired yet.
Whew.
I've learned to listen to what buyers and sellers want. And
Okay.
that is key in real estate.
That is
Yes.
so important. So I know, so a friend of mine has her oldest child is well, still call him child, but he's a grown man, but they're stationed here, and you know who I'm talking about.
Mhm.
And I remember she reached out to me and she said, "Hey, do you know real estate agents that the kids can use and what have you?" And I said, "Yeah." So, but what I wanted to do is I gave them a list of three,
Mhm.
but I gave some backgrounds. And I was so thrilled when they emailed me and said, "We picked Miss Edna. And while I have you on the screen, I need to let you know that his mom told me to tell you thank you so much for
Oh,
taking
thank
care of
you.
her kids." She was so happy about it, because she said you just made the process um, easier for them. You made it less stressful for them. You just, walk them through everything. And she was so happy with the
Yes.
service. And I'm like,
Awesome.
oh, I said, I will make sure I tell her that.
And that too, a big part of my business is referrals. And the
Yes.
best compliment is a referral. So by you saying, hey, here's an agent I know in Fayetteville. I mean, that's like how our business grows, by people like
Yes.
you who refer other clients to us. So just mention our name, like you gave out other names,
Right.
but that's how we all operate. And that's always a good feeling when someone mentions your name to someone to possibly buy or sell their home.
Yep. That is so true. So when you first transitioned into being a real estate agent, what was the hardest thing for you in that transition?
I'm kind of shy. I am not like Lou, we're in catering. I have Lou, right, to stand
Right.
behind, and he's out in the front. He's the clown. But in real estate, I had to become me. And I
Mm.
was like, Lou, I don't talk to people like this, unless I know you. And he was like, babe, you got to stop. You got to get out here. You got to do this. You're going to be okay. So he's like, he's my hype man, right? So I'm like, Lou, I don't talk. So I was like, okay, let me just breathe and just start talking to people. So yeah, so that was like, yeah, the hardest part for me.
Okay. So we have a comment here from one of our listeners. Keith Sykes is saying, yes, Edna is amazing. She
Yeah,
is, Keith.
I was actually his agent, so he called me to sell his home, and yeah, we got it done.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining in with us. And anyone else that has a comment or would like to give a shout out to Edna or ask her a question about being a real estate
Right.
agent and what are some of the challenges. So right now, so when you started out for you, you said getting started, it was that having that conversation,
Yes.
becoming an extrovert, when that wasn't what you were used to doing, because it is such a people business.
Yes.
Um what would be the piece of advice that you would give to someone that was starting out in this business or that was thinking about going into this business?
You got to be genuine. Like I said,
Mm,
people buy into you before they buy into anything you're doing. You got to be a genuine, good person. Um, just like, and in this business, you got to like just, like I said, being a good listener is really was key for me, to find out what people are really looking for, what they want, and what they expect the end goal to be. So that's kind of like hand in hand. So this business, it's a lot of hard work. People often just see the end result, like we sold a house, but they have no idea on how much emotions and hard work goes into getting those clients to the closing table. But
mhm.
that's what we do. We try to make it seem effortlessly, and a lot of stress goes on us and not on our buyers or sellers. We want them to have a stress-free process. So anything that's happening behind the scenes, we'll take care of it unbeknownst to them. And at the end, they don't even know what happened. Like the clients you were speaking about, oh, we had issues. But I wanted to make sure that, they weren't stressed. He could still go to work and not worried about it. She could still take care of her business, not worry about it. So I'm behind the scene putting out fires.
Okay.
So it's really critical of networking too and making those connections with professionals in the field that you may need to get you to the closing table. But it's always like just trying to shield your clients and make sure you get things done without stressing them out.
Well, I know you do a good job of that. And we have another listener. Um, was that Tara who is saying, she's watching and you're such an inspiration and she's shy also. So maybe Tara, you'll get a few lessons from Edna
Um,
on
so I
talking
am
on
I
that
am
show.
mentoring I am mentoring Tara. She's gonna become the next real estate agent in North
Okay.
Carolina. She's
Okay.
gonna work the Clinton area. She's already signed up for her tests to sit for her state exam. So
Good.
Tara will be coming soon as a newest agent, and she'll work the Clinton area.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic. I love this. I love how you're slowly building this empire. I see this, we talk a lot. One of my favorite radio hosts is Karen Hunter of Sirius XM Urban View Radio. And she talks so much about generational wealth amongst Black and Brown
Mhm.
families. And I love the idea of what you're doing, that, you and Lou were able to take your catering business, your restaurant business, and move it into something. But at the same time, you knew how to make that pivot. What was that pivot like?
For us, it was easy because we're always looking for new and different things to do.
Mm-hmm.
And we like to try different things.
Okay.
So we'll just try something and see what sticks. And not being afraid has been great to us because we'll try something. If it doesn't work, we just go back to the drawing board again.
Okay.
So having like a little bit of no fear, just like making things happen, and that's kind of what we just do.
Yep.
Like, hey,
Stepping out on faith.
and a lot of times we just figure it out along the way. We don't know everything,
Right.
but we'll figure it out on the way. And then you sometimes, especially in real estate, in any kind of business, you have to pivot with what's going on around you.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's exactly what we do in catering, in real estate, just in life in general. We just adjust to what's going on around us and make it the best for us.
Okay. And we
Hmm.
have another listener, Latanya. Again, shout out to you, Edna, saying you're a great person.
Hmm.
And then yet that you are upfront with people from the beginning and to the end. And that is so, so important, And as she said, you're inspiring. You are
Yeah.
inspiring. I know when I first moved here, well, it feels like first moved here. I've been here almost 11 years, but it feels like it was just yesterday. Um, for some reason, you and Lou are like, I don't know, catering royalty here. So everybody knows Chef Lou and Edna. And just watching you folks, how you operate around people, whether you're working, watching you with you would be out and about with your mom, uh,
Hmm.
or other family members. You just seem just like which we talked about, genuine, authentic, just people that you felt good about being around.
Right. Thank you.
So
Well,
all of that translates into your business.
thank you. And Latanya is one of our other friends who was afraid to step out with her own business. So Lou and I coached her behind the scenes. So she is now has her food truck called Big Chiefs.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you see Big Chiefs, she does smoked meat. So she does a smoked ribs, brisket, chicken, turkey. But she was a great cook, but she was afraid to step out. So we finally
Okay.
talked her into it, got her nerves up. And now if you're around Fayetteville, look for Big Chiefs food truck and definitely stop by and check her out. Amazing food.
We'll definitely do that. And then she
Yes.
said she loves that you're always mentoring people. And
Yes.
you do. Um Portia Grady and her partner are opening up a restaurant. But one of the things I remember her saying during her conversation was how much you and Chef Lou helped her.
Yes.
The genuine collaboration. I think that's what I one of the things that I love about both of you is that you're always willing to help other people. It's always about pulling somebody along with you. Always.
Every chance we get, like we always say, you can go fast by yourself, but you can go far with others.
Yes.
So if you want to go far in this life, you got to help others. And we get to a position that we're in somewhere, you can
Mhm.
best believe my friends are coming with me. You know
That's
what I'm saying? So you can best believe, if I get into a new door, my friends are right behind me.
that is wonderful.
So we always, and when I see new businesses, I'll reach out like, hey, can we just have a conversation? And Portia was very open. She said, I'll take all the help you can give me. And so we will sit down and have conversation, and she listens. So it makes it
Yes.
easy to kind of like give her advice because she listens, she takes it. So we just like want to see people successful. Even though we all serve food, everybody's different, and there's enough here for everybody. And like by networking, if there's jobs that we just can't do because we're busy or just
Right.
something happened, I know I can call up Portia at Friends Catering. I can call Jaleisha, at Dorothy's Catering, and I have someone who can, step in and still give the clients a great experience,
Right. Right.
you know.
What is Chef Lou doing there in the background?
Excuse me, sir. Lou. He's in there trying to cook and talking on the phone at the same time.
Oh, okay. That's who he is. He's just being himself.
That's
So,
what we kind of like to do. We like to like help, other people
yes,
achieve their dreams. And if we can help you in the slightest way, we'll tell people don't hesitate to call us up. We've been there, we've done that. Don't be afraid to ask someone because in the same career field as you. That's how you're gonna get better, is by asking someone who's already done it.
okay. And we have another listener, Kalisha. Hey, Kalisha, it's nice to see you here. And she said, that you're always supporting everyone. So we're getting all the accolades. You're getting the validation, the support here for what you're saying. Yeah. So you guys are well loved here and are seen as a very supportive couple, helping everyone.
And my business in real estate shows it, because when I see my friends have used me, referred me, anybody says I need a realtor, my name is the one that comes out. So my friends have really, really helped my business grow at a fast pace.
Okay.
So I thank all of them for that, always referring me out, using me personally. It's just a good feeling, when they
Yes.
trust you at one of their biggest investments.
Yes.
And hey, Edna, help me. I want to sell this. I'm going to buy this. Let's just make it happen. So
Most
it's great.
definitely. So one of the things, in seeing some of the pictures out on your Facebook page and stuff, when you have a house, there seems to be that staging component. Talk about that, because again, like you said, people see the end product. They see the house has been sold, but they don't see all of the other stuff that goes into it. And as a huge fan of HGTV,
Right. So,
we see HGTV and they make it look easy.
right.
So tell us, how does that part work in your business?
So I love interior design and just making homes look pretty and making unusable spaces functional. So whenever I have a listing to put a home on the market, I'll go and do a walkthrough, with the sellers. And I'll point out stuff like, hey, we have to declutter, but you may have a space that someone may not know what to do with it. And you have to make it make sense to someone who's coming to buy your home. So the last house I just staged last week, they had a little nook in their dining room, in their family room, and it was empty. And I said, so what are you guys using this for? She's like, we have no idea. It's just been here and it's been empty. So I was like, okay, this would be a cute beverage area. So I staged that area. I staged their kitchen and their front porch. When the wife came home, she was like, Edna, I don't want to sell my house. This looks amazing now. I would never thought to do this to my house. So it's a good feeling when they come back and give me great comments. But then I said, no, this for sale sign is going in front of your house. No, that's not an option right now. I said, but your next house, I'll come and help you decorate. This house for sale sign. So because buyers need to see, kind of like what they can do with a space.
Right.
And see, oh, that's amazing. Not just an empty space. So they had a counter in the kitchen. They just had mail on it. I said, why is this mail in the kitchen? I don't know, just drop the mail there. This would be a cute coffee bar. She said, we don't drink coffee. Well, this is not for you. We're selling the house now. So I made it into a coffee bar. She was like, oh my God, that looks so amazing. She said, well, Edna, I don't even use my kitchen now until we sell the house.
Oh, that is so good.
So yeah, so I love to stage homes. That kind of gives me kind of advantage. People will look for me because they know I stage homes. And it's complimentary to all of my sellers. Okay. So if you hire me to sell your home, I'm going to stage it. If the home is already occupied, I'll just move your stuff around just so it makes a better flow. Just so it makes sense to buyers when they come in, they feel welcome. They want to sit down. I'll bring some pieces in to add to it. And it's all complimentary. It's all a free service to my sellers.
Okay, that is fantastic. So folks, you hear that? And I'll make sure that you have Edna's contact information so that if any of you are out there looking for a realtor, you know how to get in touch with her. Here we have her LinkedIn address. You can reach her on Facebook, or you can also reach her on Instagram. So please make sure you reach out and do that. And we also have with us this evening, Dr. Patrice Cotter. Thank you so much, Dr. Patrice, for coming in and shouting out and joining us in the conversation. We appreciate you being here. Oh my goodness, you got another person. Yes, you can listen to Edna express her passion all day long. Yes, Myra, isn't she wonderful?
Thanks, Myra.
So now we're wondering, so when's the book coming out? When's the book coming out? Because it is, I think it's so important that folks get to hear everyday people talk about how they go about living their lives, how they go about making their careers work for them. Because again, we read about this person or that person or what have you, and we have superstars right here in our neighborhoods, and we need to appreciate them. So Edna, we definitely appreciate you. And as Patrice is saying, you are amazing.
Thank you.
You are amazing. So when you're helping folks do their staging, has there ever been a staging job that just was like, oh my goodness, this is not working?
I have those moments that I have to bring Lou in, because Lou, he can like the spacing in the room. He can make sense of spaces. And if he tells me, babe, we'll move it this way, that way, then I'll know where to go. But sometimes he actually lose help.
Okay.
Because he can do spacing better than me.
Okay.
And I'm not really good at that yet. I just know what looks good.
Okay.
But the positioning is also important.
Yes. So here we have, you guys are so multi-talented, and you're able, and what I love about what you do is you take your skills and you transfer them to other aspects. It's not like, finance, you're just hitting the books and taking care of that. You were able to take that and help that so that you had a profited your catering business. But then you also took that, and that helps you in your real estate business.
Yes.
And then Lou, being multi-talented, he cooks. He can go in and help you with the staging.
He's my contractor.
Exactly. I've seen him. I've seen some of those folks, those pictures where he's been there with the power tools.
Oh, we getting this house sold. Lou, come over here and fix this right here. Repair this, paint this wall. So you get a package deal with me. It's not just me. Yes. So that handyman and everything else, So it kind of works out.
That's so good. Nina Wells, thank you so much for joining us. Nina is saying that this is inspiring. It is inspiring. Again, we got a little dynasty going on here. And we have another viewer, Robert, who is telling us that, yes, that you're an excellent realtor. You made buying a home a calm process and all the craziness. Yes. So see that, that's what you're supposed to do. Thank you.
So Robert, also, I'm mentoring him to become an agent to service the Raleigh area. He took the class in the class with Tara. So he just has to sit for his exam now. So he's going to work the Raleigh area. So another part of my little empire right there.
Okay. I love it. I love that building of generational wealth, but then also bringing other people along with you. That is like so important during these days and these times.
Very important. I mean, that's like critical, even to our own growth, because everybody brings something different, So you can still learn from other people. as well as teach. So it kind of benefits us as well as benefit them. So we kind of like that. And we also just make amazing friends along the way. And that's like really awesome.
Okay. Robert wants to know when you get in the TV show.
Tell him when he gets his license.
Oh, okay. Okay. So we have a question from Dr. Carter. She wants to know, where did you get your inspiration for staging?
I just like making things look pretty. So I do watch HGTV. I just like home goods. I just go in there and walk around. So I just want a space to speak to when you walk in. So a space is like my inspiration. Like, how can I make this space say something when someone walks into the home? When someone walks in here, I want to be like, wow, this is like really nice, Oh, well, I didn't think about using that for that. So that's kind of it. I just want it to just be like welcoming and just functional. I want you to have a home that's pretty, but also you can just relax in it and not feel like, oh, I can't sit in that room because it's like, it's too pretty. No, it has to be functional and also pretty.
Okay. Okay. So during this COVID times and you had to pivot, how did that affect the sale of houses? Like what was going on in the real estate market?
Ooh, the real estate market went crazy.
Yes.
No, the real estate market went crazy during the pandemic. We had more buyers than we had homes for sale. It was literally, you had to have your best negotiating skills to get your client a home.
Okay.
Because it was literally like multiple offers on homes. What can I do to ensure my client gets this house? So you had to start thinking outside the box to start getting homes for your clients.
Okay.
So like Nashonda was like, Nashonda, I can't find no home. She's like, hey, let me tell you what you're going to do, Edna. We're going to go through these withdrawals, houses that expired and were withdrawn from the market, and just call them up and say they want to sell their house now. It's not back on the market. So I started going after people who didn't even have their homes for sale.
Okay.
So I'd be the only one putting the offer in because your home was on the market. So I come to you, hey, just pay me 3% and you can be your own person, and we've got a deal. So that thinking outside the box that she showed me how to do was beneficial for me. And even in one case, my client didn't get the house because she had a tenant in it. But I called Nashonda excited about a week ago. The same lady I called to try to sell her house that wasn't on the market. She said, hey, I remember you called me over a year ago about my home. My tenant's lease is up. And because you just went outside the box, I want you to sell my house for me. And I was like, what? So she saved my number from a year ago. She said, because you went so hard to find your buyer a house. I know what you're going to do to sell my house for me. So we want you to be our agent.
That is fantastic.
So I'm super excited. And she's also an agent, but she's not an agent in the Fayetteville area.
Okay.
And she didn't even ask for referral fee. She's like, no, just sell my house for me. I was like, what? Okay.
That is fantastic.
So just being outside the box, people she liked that. So that was pretty awesome.
Okay. So thank you. We have another viewer that has joined us. Thank you so much, Erica, for your comments. Edna's a very special person. She has a great heart and will always be there for you. Very diverse in her skill set and is always growing and learning and willing to provide mentorship to anyone.
Oh, thanks, Erica.
So that is so cool. That is so cool. And so Erica also goes on to say that she's known you for 33 years and you're the same now as you are today. That is so, that's such a testament to your character and who you are, because like you said, the work that you do, people have to know, like, and trust you.
Right.
In order to do business with you.
I met Erica as an intern at that government job.
Okay.
I was an intern and I was assigned to her office. And that's how I met Erica. They put me in her office in IT. I knew nothing about IT, but I learned a lot because I was under Erica, because she's an IT guru. And that was a job, an internship. They just find you a job somewhere in the government. And that was one of which was in the IT department. So, and ironically, my rest of my career, when I came to Fort Bragg, I was actually a finance person for an IT division. And when Erica moved from New Jersey, she's from New Jersey girl too, to here. Okay. Of course, she got a job working where I was at.
Okay.
So it's kind of, hey, I got a job in my office for you, Erica. So she came and worked in our office doing her IT, and I did budgeting.
Okay. So Dr. Patrice is still loving the staging and stuff where you said you want the space to say, buy me now.
Absolutely. No, that's
Yes.
exactly what I want. That is absolutely what I want.
Yes.
Yes,
That is so important. That
that
is
is.
so
That's
important.
my money maker staging, you know?
Okay.
When people
Okay.
actually pay top dollars, they see a house, now they don't realize that it doesn't stay. I've had offers like, can I buy this? Can I buy that? I'm like, that's not for sale, you know, but I can
Okay.
come back and stage for you.
Okay. We have more Jersey girls in the house.
Yes.
Wow, I didn't realize there were so many people from Jersey. I think I might be the only Rhode Islander. So I'm close,
You're close.
little bit over the bridge, close, close. So in your what would you like to see happen with your business in the future, in the near future? What are you building towards?
So I want to actually have my own team. So this is not public knowledge until just now. So I did speak to Nishan, but I start my own team. So I do mentor a lot of people, but I just want to do a team now. And I am so proud right now that my newest agent to come is actually my son. He's in school right now. He'll finish the program in November, and then he'll study up and take his exam. So as soon as my son Jordan, which is our youngest son, passes his exam and becomes a licensed North Carolina realtor, um, he'll be my actual first official team member. So yeah, so once he gets his license, I'm gonna launch my team, and our team is gonna be called Lux Homes Realty Group.
Okay.
And so it's gonna start with Jordan and I just want to like grow my team. Um, yeah, just get that team growing and just want to help newer agents who are coming out of school, who are just getting started, kind of teach them the ropes like I was taught.
Okay.
Um, and just like everybody just have fun, making people happy and just making money in the process. But to have my son work side by side, you don't understand
Mm,
how happy I am.
yes.
I am
Yes.
super excited, super proud. So I came in from November to get here, and my son to take his exam and comes like, "Mom, I did it." So when he gets that, we'll launch our team, and we're just gonna just start making even more magic happen. The two of us.
Oh, that's going to be so
Oh my
fantastic.
God,
That is
I'm,
going to
I'm
be
about to
so
tear up now just talking
fantastic.
about my baby joining my team. And our daughter comes. Our daughter right now, she is licensed in North Carolina and Georgia, but she's
Okay.
currently in Italy on a 3-year assignment with her husband, which is my son. So
Okay.
when she comes back, I'll have her on my team. So yeah, so we're just gonna build that family dynamic, and
Yes.
take it from there. So that's my thing.
Yeah, we got a shout out there from Sharifa saying, yes, love it. That is so, so good. That is so
Yeah.
good. Again, building that generational wealth and doing it as a family so
Yes.
that you can leave a legacy to the babies, to the grandbabies.
Right, exactly, exactly. So I'm
So
super excited about, our team. So look out, guys, for Lux Home Realty Group.
okay, we will definitely be looking for that. We will definitely be looking for that. So with that being said, one of the things I always like to ask my guests is to recommend a book. For people that know me, I love everything about reading. I think everyone should have a library card because your taxes are paying for it. And an education is free with a library card. So I'm always asking folks, what book would you recommend to the audience? So, what book would you recommend, Edna?
During this pandemic, I had to go back to my bookshelf and I pulled out Who Moved My Cheese. And I don't know if anybody remembers that book, but Who Moved My Cheese? It was like an amazing reminder. Like, we're in a pandemic, but what do you want to do with it? How do you
Mm,
want to move? you know, and being now like, you know what? I want to still be great. So let me pivot and move. And I'm gonna go ahead and move my own cheese, and I'm gonna do real estate as opposed to having someone else like say, hey, you've been fired. What are you gonna do now? Just sit
mhm.
there and sulk? Or you gonna make another way? So if you
Right.
have not read Who Moved My Cheese in a long time, or if you're a first time reader of it, please grab that book. It will put so much into perspective for you about life and how you decide to move through life. And it's so great to read that book like right about now.
Mm,
Even during the pandemic, we've had so many entrepreneurs that were birthed. because
Yes.
they had no choice but to move their own cheese and make things happen. So
Yes.
definitely, if you have not read that book, or if you forgot what it was about from years and years ago when you were in school, definitely grab that book off your shelf or grab it in bookstore and definitely reread that book, and
Yeah.
it will put your life in a whole new perspective once again.
It does. Like, so again, when you mentioned that, I'm like, oh, I forgot about that book. And then I went looking for my copy and I said, I think somebody borrowed my copy and never gave it back because it wasn't
Mm,
on my shelf. But the big idea in Who Moved My Cheese is that change happens,
yep.
whether you want it to or not. Change happens. And then while you're, doing it, and it's you have to read it because it's these two little mice and these other two little people.
Right.
And he uses that, those different metaphors.
Metaphors.
And
Mhm.
again, monitor your current situation regularly for mold. So things aren't working quite, you got to be checking your stuff out. Like you in real estate, you want to
Right.
make sure that you're up to date on all the laws and the regulations. You want to make sure that if something is changing in a client's situation, that you know about it, that it doesn't catch you by surprise.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I know,
Exactly.
like when I had to pivot to, I closed my office downtown and moved my business back home. For those of you that don't know me, I do college and career counseling. But when I moved my business back home, as I was telling Edna earlier, I do everything virtual now, and I won't go
Mhm.
back to it. I won't go back to a office and pay that rent for an office space because I don't need it.
Right.
It works. It works. So again, um, think about those things. And then this last insight out of the book is
There you
move
go.
your own cheese.
Yep.
You need to be ready. You need to
Be
be
ready.
ready. And
Yes.
again, like you said, this time birthed a lot of entrepreneurs. So we just need to make sure that we're ready for that, and you figure it out. Oh, yeah. And
Exactly.
yep. And Kalisha said that's an excellent book. Yep. Rereading it every so often.
Yes.
It's almost like we need to make a pact with ourselves to, like, okay, every so many months, or, every July or something, I'm gonna pick up this book and
Right.
look at it and refresh myself on these lessons again. Um,
Exactly.
and we have some comments here from Myra, that we venture into different industries, businesses without perfecting any of them. And what's extremely inspiring and impressive about Edna and Lou is that they perfect and shine on every platform that they touch.
Oh,
And she loves that about them. They make it easy to support them. Myra, you are so
thank
right.
you.
They do. You can be out and about and just, I remember one day being downtown, and I don't know, I was walking around and Chef Lou was down there, and actually he was looking at a building and just started talking. And I remember how good I felt after the conversation, because it was just such a nice conversation. And both of you just have that way about you of just making people feel I think, this is what it is. When you talk about listening, you both listen, and people feel listened to
Right.
after they've been with either of you.
That is very, very critical. Um, Let me, Dr. Patrice is on the line. When we first started our catering company, we didn't know, nobody knows, like, if you're a new kid in the block, nobody
Mhm.
wants to try you out, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's like skeptical, like, you want me to pay you how much to come cater? Like, we don't know who you are. Do you know who
Mhm.
our first clients were that trusted us?
Who?
Patrice and Dalton Carter.
Oh,
They were the first persons that actually hired Elite Catering. Dalton was doing an event and Patrice at Fayetteville, I think it was Fayetteville State. And they were the first ones that actually said yes. And I was so
fantastic.
we've been friends with them since that first time. Like, oh my God, you guys gave us a chance. You guys took a chance on us. So it's been amazing. So, but they were our first clients.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank
They
you,
were the
Dr.
first
Patrice.
clients.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And your BFF is
Oh my
saying
God.
so.
We've been friends like 45 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah, since like third grade.
And again, Kalisha saying, how you folks make everybody feel like they're a part of the family, an immediate family. And you do have a way of doing that. I don't know if you realize that you do that, but you do. And I don't know, you just feel good. And again, it doesn't hurt business. But
No.
here's the other thing though. In having that relationship with you and Lou, and I'm sure people who are listening in will also agree, it's genuine. It's never feels put on. It's
Right.
just that you just like people You enjoy your family. Like I said, I used to love seeing you downtown with your mom. It was just, I mean, and she's the cutest thing anyway.
We went shopping today in Walmart for flowers because she loves
Oh,
plants and flowers. So we walked around Walmart about an hour looking at the plants.
oh, that is so good. That is so
Yeah.
good. So, Edna, what would you tell someone who during this, because we're still, we're still in the pandemic, it's not gone yet, and things are still kind of funky. What would you tell somebody if they were looking either to go into real estate or just to become an entrepreneur in general during this current time?
You gotta just write down your plan, your vision. Sometimes you write something down on a piece of paper. It makes it a little more clearer and a little bit more to see it. You might can touch it quicker. But you gotta have a plan. I'm not saying jump out there without a plan because it may not work. But if you have a plan and you can figure out the steps along the way. Um, so my thing is if you have a passion about something, turn it into a business. Like Lou loved to cook. All right, we'll make it a business. Just like take your passion and write it down and make it clear. And don't be afraid to ask for help. If you know someone or just not even know them, see someone that same field, don't be afraid to ask questions. You'll be surprised at how many people are willing to help you if you just ask the question. So that's critical. Ask the question and make sure your plan is what you want to do.
That is so good. I really
Yeah.
appreciate that when you talk about, ask questions. Because I remember when I first moved to Fayetteville and I had started this business, I realized that there was another woman locally that belonged to the same professional association I did and was doing the
Mhm.
same business. And I remember reaching out to her and I said, "Oh, I'd love to talk with you because, you're from the area. I'm not. And I would just love to get some feedback on what I'm doing and what you're doing." We had a fantastic lunch. We talked for
Mhm.
2 hours. It was great. But then, you know what? At the end, when I said, "I can't wait till, we meet again," she said, "Oh, we're not going to meet again." I'm like, "We're not? Like, why not?" She said, "Your competition."
Mm.
That that deflated me so much because I was so thrilled that I was going to have someone that was in the same business and would
Right.
understand what I was talking about. But the lesson I took away from that is that whenever someone in this business reaches out to me to mentor them or has questions or how did you do this part or that part,
Mhm.
I'm telling them, I'm sitting there,
Yeah.
I'm having conversations with them because, I said, I want to do well, but I want you to do well too.
Exactly. And that's
You know?
exactly how Lou and I operate. We first wanted to do the food business, wanted to do a food truck. That's how it all started. And in order to do a food truck, you have to have a commissary. Like you have to work out of someone's approved
Mhm.
kitchen. Lou went all around Fayetteville talking to business owners, and not one person would let us come use their kitchen. They all thought like that. Well, you are my new competition. And Lou was like, we just got a food truck. And not one person would let us come in their kitchen. So Lou kept riding around, and like a year or so later, he was kind of deflated, like, all right, well, we can't do a food truck without a commissary. He was riding down Trade Street and he saw a for rent sign in the building.
Mm.
It was actually the restaurant that we had on Trade Street. And once we got our own restaurant, Lou and I made a promise that we would always help anyone who wanted help in the food industry, especially the food trucks. So we have a lot of food trucks that we serve as their commissary because no one wanted to give us a chance. So we made a point, like you said, what you need to know. You can
Right.
give you all the information, but you still have to execute it.
Exactly.
And we don't think of anything as competition. We're all in the same field, food industry, but we'll sit down and tell you whatever you need to know. Now, how you operate it and execute it, that's totally on you. But we want everyone, like you said, to be successful. Like I said,
Mhm.
I'll sit down with any other person. What do you need to know about this business? Like friends, open a restaurant up. It's brand new to them. Portia, what do you need to know about running a restaurant? What do you need to know? Let's have a conversation. I don't want you to fail.
Right.
What do you need to know? We've been there, done that. So we'll help anyone who wants to listen and not like, just listen. Just listen, take the advice, execute it, and you'll be successful.
That's wonderful. And you have another shout out here.
My niece.
And then from Deb Franklin. Thank Deb for joining in. Deb is saying that's nice, and it is, and I think that's what's missing in this
Mhm.
world. People just being
So,
nice and
and
people just
listen,
willing.
right. And we just don't do food, right? So back to my niece, Dee Dee, who just online. She
Uh-huh.
loves plants. She has my mother's green thumbs. And she wanted a plant shop. Well, we have a building on Trade Street that we use for storage.
Hmm.
So Lou was like, D, this building's just storage. Why don't I give you half of it and you can make your plant shop? So she now opened up in October, Sow Your Seed and Watch It Grow plant shop on Trade Street in our building.
Oh,
Lou gave her half the building and we kept the other half for storage. So now she's an entrepreneur living out what she wants to do. So if you're ever on Trade Street, right next to
okay.
Elite Catering, you see a
Yeah.
Sow Your Seed and Watch It Grow. Now, we know nothing about plants, but we could open a business up. So
Okay.
got her a business. She's open for business. She's down there Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 5. So if you like
Thank you.
plants, come see Sow Your Seed and Watch It Grow on Trade Street.
Okay, and people, I will be making sure when you go back and you check the show notes, either here on Facebook or on YouTube, all that information will be there. So if you didn't get that information, I will make sure it's in the show notes, because we've got to go out and support these businesses. We've got to
Mhm.
take care of each other. And if you want to get in touch with Edna, here's her information. You can connect with her on LinkedIn. Here's her Facebook address, and you can also reach out to her on Instagram.
Absolutely.
I'm just thrilled at the number of people that are engaging tonight is a testament to you.
Thank
This is a
you.
testament to who you are and why people are engaging in this conversation. We have another viewer who is saying that
Oh,
you are such amazing people, always willing to help in any way possible to help people succeed. And I mean, there's no higher praise than that.
yes.
There's no higher praise than that. So thank you so much. Is it Benicia?
So that's the owner of a banned Southern Fried Chicken food truck. Who's also in our
Oh,
comment. Yeah, so we wait for her to come on back out. So
okay.
we're trying to work on a pop-up for her to get back out there and do her thing again. So watch
Okay.
out for her to do a pop-up on Trade
Okay.
Street soon. Gotta get a date together. But she's coming back. So she's gonna do a couple pop-ups for the people right now. But that's the band Southern Fried Chicken.
Okay. I have seen the lines at that truck. I have seen the lines at that truck. So that is so good. So while we're talking about food trucks, just before we end, so I know Chef Lou has a new truck.
Yes. So Chef Lou has partnered up with Chef Stacy, and they're doing Korean and Puerto Rican food. Chef Stacy is heavy on the Korean side. She makes amazing, authentic Korean food. Everyone knows Chef Lou, Puerto Rican food, authentic. So they put those two together, and the truck has been out twice and has done amazing. The response from the community has been awesome. The feedback has been really, really great. So they're loving a combination of Korean and Puerto Rican food together. So it's working out fine for us. So keep
And
looking
what's
out. It's called Got You. So
oh,
we got the name because when we were in the kitchen, the guys were saying, "All right, I got you. I got you." I'm like, what do y'all keep saying I got you for? And I was like, Lou, that's our food truck name. So instead of saying got you, we just made it chew.
okay.
Yes. So we just kind
Okay.
of made a little play on it. But that's the guys in the kitchen. All right, I got you. All right, I got you.
All right. That is so good. And like I said before we started, I was so upset I didn't go to Fourth Friday because I
Well,
knew
we'll
the
be out
truck was
again
there.
somewhere, so don't worry about that. We'll be coming back out again real soon.
Okay, we'll definitely be looking for it. And Sharifa says that, she loves the advice that you're giving. So, folks, if you're watching this on the replay, please make sure that you watch all of it. Please make sure you get out your pad and pencil or whatever you use to
Yes.
take notes, because you are getting so much great information here from Edna, and you want to make sure that you're able to put this into play for
Yes.
you in order to make your business work.
Now, Sharifa Johnson, she's my niece also, but she launched a company called Books and Bops. So Sharifa's an amazing dancer, and she's also an educator. She has a master's in English, and she loves literature. So she put it to two together. It's called Books and Bops. So she'll read you a story if you have a party or whatever, or comes to your classroom. She'll read a story, and then she choreographs a dance to match the story. So then you actually dance the story out from the book. So it's called Books and Bops. So she's also a dance teacher at the Encore Academy downtown for this school year. And if you like mixed fit, She's also a teacher over at Fit Connection. So if
Okay.
you want to go get some mixed fit on, go see a Fit Connection. If you want to have a party for your young ones or in school, look up Books and Bops.
Oh, I love that, Sharifa. Books and Bops. I will definitely make sure I get the information. So
Yes.
all of the businesses that were mentioned will definitely be in the show notes so people can go out and figure out which of those they're going to use first, because this is
Exactly.
fantastic. This is so, so good. Um, Edna, any last words for folks?
Uh, so just guys, whatever you do in life, just make sure you do it with a grateful heart. Be happy and remain humble. So that's been
Mm.
key for Lou and I, remaining humble through it all. And it's been amazing. So if you're looking for real estate, call me. If you're looking for food, call me. So we can take care of all that for you. But Dr. Belinda, thank you for having me on here tonight. Great conversation.
Oh,
To all the friends and family who tuned in, absolutely appreciate it. Um, and it's been amazing. Thank you so much.
oh, this is so good. And again, all everybody that joined in this evening, thank you so much for joining in. And please make sure you share this out with people because again, you know, this is information that we want people out in the community to be able to use because again, we want to build generational wealth in all of our
Exactly.
families. And we all have talents, we all have skills. We just need that extra push, that extra inspiration to get us moving. So again, folks, thank you so much for joining in. Those of you watching this on the replay, thank you so much for watching it on the replay. And again, make sure you share this out. The show notes should be up in a couple of days. And you'll also see this on LinkedIn. And Edna, I'll make sure I tag you
Okay.
on LinkedIn for it. Folks, I will see you next Monday evening for another college and career conversations with Dr. B. Next week, I think I'll be talking a little bit about financial aid because I want to make sure, kids are getting ready for college and the financial aid forms are getting ready to come out. And I just want to make sure that people know what they need to be doing during this time. So you might just have me and not a guest, but we'll see. So again, thank you everyone and have a fantastic Monday evening.